This is part of Pepsi's balance sheet. In a prior chapter, we looked at the current ratio, which was answering the question, is Pepsi going to be able to pay off their current liabilities? So in the next year, Pepsi owes this much money, the $31,536. Are they going to be able to pay it off? And the current ratio gives us somewhat of a measure of their ability to pay that within the next year. And we would do that by comparing our current assets. And we would go 25,826 divided by 31,536. And we're just going to need to break out a calculator for this little bit. 25,826 divided by 31,536 is 0.82. Now, most companies, you want that to be above 1. You want to have at least as many current assets as current liabilities. Most banks require that to get a loan. Now, why doesn't Pepsi or Walmart or Target or any of these other big companies have a current ratio over 1? Well, how are they going to pay off the $31,000? They're counting on making sales throughout the year and getting cash throughout the year to be able to pay that off. So the current ratio measures our current ability to pay off those obligations. Take that one step further. Could we pay them off now? Right now, Pepsi is saying, no, I can't pay it off right now. Even if I sold all of my current assets, I couldn't pay it off. That's why most businesses, most banks require that ratio to be above 1. The higher it is, the less risky your debts are to the bank. Now, when we're looking at this ratio, we're saying, well, if Pepsi sold everything, they couldn't pay everything off. Still, they could pay off 82%. But realistically, could they use all of their current assets to do that? And we look at some of their current assets, we're like, I don't know, can they actually use their prepaid insurance right here to pay off debts? Could I use supplies, which also might be in this other current assets? Could I go into my closet and take out a whole bunch of pencils and pens and pay my supplier with those? I don't think our supplier would be too happy with them getting paid in pens and pencils. So we have this other ratio called the acid test or quick ratio that measures the ability, could we quickly pay off these debts if they came due? We couldn't pay these with pens and pencils, so we're going to ignore those things. We can't pay off our debts with prepaid insurance, so we're not going to use that. What could we pay off our debts quickly if we needed to? And the three things that are used in the quick ratio are cash, short-term investments, and accounts receivable. Cash is already cash. We can use cash to pay off our debts. Short-term investments, these are things like stocks and bonds that we can quickly sell and get cash right away. Accounts receivable are also considered quick assets because in the grand scheme of things, we're going to get most of that money within probably 30 days. And so we can quickly turn our accounts receivable into cash. So we add up those three things. Instead of including all current assets, it's just going to be those three things in the numerator. So let's put that into a calculator. I get 19,599 as that total there. And now we take that and divide it by total current liabilities. Now, usually, this is going to be much less than the current ratio. And even for most businesses, their acid test ratio or quick ratio is going to be less than 1. That's okay. We're just measuring how much of a risk is this. The lower the number, the less we have on hand to pay current debts, the higher the risk we are. The higher the number, the less of a risk we are. So in this case, we'll go 19,599, divide that by 31,536. That gets us to 0.62. So Pepsi has 62% of their current debts on hand in cash or other quick assets. So the difference between the current ratio and the quick ratio is the quick ratio only uses quick assets, which are defined as cash, short-term investments, and accounts receivable.